Yeah.
Is Advaita the other way around? Just
Can be
unlearning?
in the beginning, but I think it's more courses, striving for things and searching are not the enemy. But the first reaction of people who come in contact with Advaita usually is, okay, so that's all wrong, I shouldn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like in puberty. Yes, first you believe everything, you try everything, and you obey your parents, and then suddenly you're going the complete opposite way, which is still a reaction to
The other.
a system or books or a course or maybe a fashion. Advaita is more like you see the first phase in which you are obeying everything and following everything. Then you see the second phase in which you are reacting against everything and oppose everything, say contradictory things. And the last phase is integration. Balance. So yes, I can follow the fashion, but I don't need to. But if I do, perfectly okay. So it's not. There's not this system on the one side and Advaita on the other side. Advaita is more at a meta level, I would say.
Yeah, I think Alexander talked about it also. Everything needs a balance. But is it a logical way that most people who get in touch with this subject, that they strived and tried for years, like doing, then suddenly you get to a point where you start wearing the same clothes for years and thinking about, I don't need to earn any money, I don't need to go to big concert events, they're not going to make me happy, and then
exactly the same thing, but then turned around.
Yeah, and then but is that a way for the most people, or are people going from extremely searching it in the world to balance at the next level?
And usually the first one.
Yeah.
So they have to go through all the phases until you finally reach the phase wherein you discover that it is not a phase.
Yeah.
And at the end of the journey, usually you discover that you've never really left. But that discovery is not possible if you don't take the journey.
Yeah.
But for some people, it's possible to immediately see where the importance lies in Advaita and to skip all the processes.
Was it in your case?
A little bit. My teacher always said you can go from the outside to the inside. That's what most people do. So when the outside, he meant duality, phenomena, feelings, thoughts. And then his advice was to, with everything, say, I'm not my thinking, I'm not my feeling, I'm not the personality, I'm not... if you recognize with every phenomenon that you're not only that, then at the end what you will end up with is what you are, which is not something that you can see, which is not something that can appear and disappear and so on. But the trouble with that method is that there are rather a lot of phenomena to research.
Yeah.
So the second method, he said, was to go from inside to outside and immediately recognize what you are, which he called consciousness or awareness, or well, any word will do. And that struck me, because I thought it's much more intelligent. Why should I go on all day saying I am not this, I am not that? I felt rather cold to me. Those two methods I don't advise to people in my satsangs. I usually give the advice, if you want to do something, then say all day long, that's me too, and that's me too, and I am the personality too, and not just the personality, not limited to the personality, no, I am the personality too. So that's a way of it's warmer. To me, it's much warmer than saying all day long that
I'm not this.
I'm not my wife, I'm not my children.
Yeah, netty, not this, not that.
Yeah, netty is almost always explained wrong, I think. The translation in English would be, I think, not this, not that, not both, and not neither one of them.
Yeah,
I think.
but still, when you say neither this nor that, that's a difference. It feels for me than not this or that, because neither, you don't make any distinction. It's like it's not just this or just that.
That's the translation I use.
Yeah.
I'm not just this. I'm not just that.
Yeah.
I'm not.
That's a difference.
Included.
Yeah.
And not excluded.
Yeah.
There's another danger in Advaita is that you become just the seer, the observer, and not the world.
Yeah.
So then there you are, very spiritual in your position of the observer, and then you're going to say things like, "Oh, that just happens in consciousness.
Yeah.
I lost my child, but I'm observing it, and
you get the untouchable. You get
Yeah.
untouchable out of the, you get out of this world, just like an observer.
It's what's called the Advaita shuffle, and you're not responsive anymore, and you're not in touch anymore, and you're completely disconnected, I would say, from everything there is.
Jan, there's an example that gets into my mind. I'm curious about your reaction to this. For me, it's like a difference that I walked through a store and I saw all beautiful things, and this I want to have, and that I want to have, and this I want to have. And now, after 10 years, I can walk to the same store and just enjoy the beautiful things without having to possess them, without having to add them to me.
So the conflict is gone.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, that's the whole story. What I used to, I'm a musician, how I used to study was, in fact, studying was hell until you can play the piece. And then the fun starts.
Yeah.
That has changed completely into studying, achieve something, but someone just being music, then it's a completely different story.
Could you say that in trying to impress people, there's also no enjoyment for you? Because you're,
no, but you think that it works that way.
Yeah, that they should enjoy me trying to impress them.
My teacher used to say that's the kindergarten level. Or a level, look ma, no hands.
On the bicycle.
That's the level that you are in. And if that's the case, then no Advaita teacher will tell you, that doesn't that's not okay.
Yeah.
So no, it's just you just observe that apparently that's my situation, and then you go from there. So never from what it should be, but always what is it? What's it that I'm seeing? What is it that I'm experiencing? Am I being childish? Yeah, I'm being childish. That's the case. No conflict. And then it's just childishness.
Play it out. Be childish.
Yeah. And then it's playful again, relative again.
But in trying to impress people, you can. In my instance, I've been doing that for maybe 15 years.
Yeah. And the last thing that will leave you is vanity, my teacher always said. And
want to be something special.
But because everybody wants that, it's not special at all. It's very common.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be special, so it's not special at all.
And then my friend Paul Smith says, well, that's just sexual selection. That's the same like the bird with the big feathers, all the colors, trying to impress the other sex.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's how it works. And as a result, you see in the animal part of the strange creations of birds with very large, or how do you call them, crabs with very large claws, because the female like large claws, birds with large feathers and
beautiful singing. Sounds.
So all the same thing.
Yeah. So again, no conflict. If you see that I'm trying to impress the other sex, it's just going on.
what it is.
Yeah.
But usually people will make up a story that no, that's not the case. It's just me being enthusiastic or something, or being
the best version of myself.
So.
Yeah. It seems to me that honesty is a big thing in Advaita. That being honest at first to yourself about reasons,
integrity, honesty, absence of vanity.
Yeah.
Those are key things in Advaita. So when you get that from a teacher, then you know that you're in the right place. And
does it ring an alarm bell for you when someone like Muji or Gangaji get a special name? You're still Jan. Is that still a thing of vanity that teachers take on a glorious name?
Yeah, well, it would differ from case to case, but I think the tradition is from India that you get a special guru name. So if you come from that tradition, then of course, then you have that name. I never got a name from Alexander.
Alexander got his name from Nisargadatta.
From Nisargadatta, yeah.
And that was
because he was in India, Sri Parabrahmadatta Maharaj.
And that means? The voice?
Sri means something like honorable.
Mm-hmm.
The last word Maharaj means something like great. Maha is great, and Raj is king or emperor or something like that in Sanskrit. And Parabrahmadatta is datta means given by. Para means above. And Brahma is the god of the god Brahma. So that would translate to given by something that is beyond. There you have it. To express it with humor, then it's immediately it's obvious in humor. Nothing is sacred. When you use humor, you can make a joke to your boss or a joke to whatever. In Holland, we make jokes about the royalties and the politicians,
the church,
everything. It's a nice thing, and it has the element of surprise. You have to be creative to use it. Not all people can say that. So. And on the other, it's also a way of when you give satsang and it lasts for let's say 2 hours or so, and you would not use one joke, then you tend to lose the attention of people, and that's a little bit the music teacher in me. When I have a group in front of me, I always try to keep track of what's the energy level. Are people listening or are they falling asleep? Yeah. So then you can use some to get them back again to listen.
And still, that's a mechanism that works also on the